Steve Parker Audiobooks presents Same by Alice Brown. A glimmering chunk of the ship's side paneling went whirling past the viewport.
What the? We didn't take another ahead, did we?
Hank asked over the open comm channel.
Nope,
Replied Shona.
we're well out of range now. Why is that?
Well, I just saw the old girl's starboard hatch cover go flying into the ether. We might have to make a repair stop a bit sooner than planned. Sorry, love.
We haven't got enough distance between us. We can't stop now.
She said.
It's stop or risk losing the entire outer hull.
Shona growled.
Ugh. I'll find us somewhere to set down then.
She skillfully piloted the ship onto a small asteroid while Hank prepared the enviro masks for a damage inspection.
It's not as bad as it looks.
Shona said, although it sounded more like she was trying to convince herself.
We could fix this in a couple of hours and still make the wedding on time.
She ignored Hank's doubtful looks, and they both got to work. The proximity alarm shattered the silence just as repairs were nearing their end.
Pack it up. We have to fly.
Shona ordered, as she stopped what she was doing and started shoving equipment back into the hatch.
We can't leave before we fix this.
Hank responded, continuing to work on the hull.
If we stay, they'll catch us.
If we go, they'll catch us. We can't fly at speed with half the ship missing.
Shona growled again.
Ugh. As soon as it's good enough, we're going. We can't wait for it to be perfect.
Understood. Give me 2 minutes.
Why aren't you firing on them?
I don't have a shot. Firing aimlessly will just drain the power reserves.
Coming around for another pass.
Try and get between them and the asteroid belt this time. Then I might be able to get a hit in.
Yeah, but it also opens us up. We haven't got full maneuverability still. I won't be able to get out of the way of anything they throw at us.
I can't fire on them if there are rocks in the way.
And I can't keep us out of the way of harm if I can't evade.
Just give me a clear line and you won't have to worry about what they might fire at us, because I'll have already destroyed them.
And if you don't, I don't like putting our asses on the line like that.
Do we have any other choice?
We could run.
You said yourself that we aren't stable enough yet to outrun them. If we'd been able to finish the repairs properly, sure, but we can't run now. We're committed to this.
Okay, but if you miss any of those ships, I swear we are getting a divorce.
Hank laughed.
First, we have to get out of here alive so that we can actually get married before we can technically get divorced. Second, it won't matter much because if I miss any of those ships, we'll be dead.
Ready?
Ready.
The small scavenger ship emerged from the asteroid belt, already firing. A pursuing cruiser erupted in a sudden flash of sparks and flame as the direct hit landed.
One down,
Hank announced. Returning fire blazed heavy and fast from the two waiting law enforcement cruisers. Shona jerked the ship into an evasive pattern as a sizzling beam from the police cannons glanced off the little ship, earning a dark scar on the viewing port just by her head. Hank maneuvered the guns to line up a shot on the third cruiser as it swung around to cut off the scavenger's path back into the relative cover of the asteroid field. He fired, and his shot clipped the wings, sending the cruiser into an uncontrolled spiral towards the asteroid. Shona easily nudged the controls to avoid the tumbling enemy ship. Hank concentrated on the remaining cruiser, but was unable to make a hit on its skillful pilot. The police cruiser was working ever closer, ever more into their blind spot, and Shona's miraculous piloting couldn't beat the odds forever. Hank growled, a sure sign of frustration, and his shots grew more erratic as he tried to force the enemy ship to deviate from its murderous path.
There's just a few more seconds till we make cover. Can you get him?
Shona asked. Hank made an affirmative-sounding grunt and continued to fire. Shona saw the love of her life missing the target by only degrees and nudged the ship's trajectory up to meet the mark. Finally, Hank got the line he needed, and the killer shot landed. They both cheered as the cruiser erupted in a silent fireball, the burning atmosphere in the dying ship briefly lighting the endless space around them, reflecting the glow of their perfect teamwork, their perfect partnership.
Well, that was fun,
Hank eventually said. Shona laughed.
You monkey. Let's get out of here.
Shona spotted a large asteroid and aimed the ship towards it. She sighed and leaned back into the firm softness of the pilot's chair, consciously calming her body after the stress and adrenaline of their narrow escape.
Think we can still make it to the wedding on time?
Hank asked.
As long as you can fix that hull plating, then I will fly us there in record time. There is no way I'm gonna be late for my own wedding,
Shona replied.
I love you, Shona. I can't wait to be married to the best pilot in the cosmos.
I love you too, sharpshooter.
They both laughed.
Now, let's get this ship fixed so we can... Oh, shit!
Gliding silently from behind the asteroid was a police cruiser. The same police cruiser Hank had hit on the wing and they'd seen spiraling into the night. They both assumed that the ship was damaged badly enough that the pilot wouldn't be able to bring it back under control, but apparently they were wrong, as was made obvious when the cruiser immediately opened fire.
Get back on the gun! I'll fly us out of here! Hold on!
Hank immediately dropped what he was doing and sprinted forward. Shona's defensive maneuvers had him bouncing off walls and doorways, but he could see on the screens that the cruiser was far too close, far too big, and firing at them with everything it had. Shona was a great pilot, but even a great pilot couldn't stay out of the way forever when the enemy had such open shots at such close range. Far too soon, the ship shook and the lights flickered as they took a direct hit.
We can't take another one of those! I need you to take out that cruiser now!
There was no reply from Hank. He had made it back to his seat and was now completely focused on the targeting screen. He had only one chance. If he succeeded, his life opened up with a future of happiness with the woman he loved. If he failed, he lined up the target, gently exhaled, and pulled the trigger. The bolt shot from the ship's guns into the darkness, taking the couple's future with it. His aim was true, and the bolt slammed into the cruiser, which exploded into a fiery mess of shrapnel and relief.
Sorry, Sho,
said Hank.
I think we're gonna be a little late to the wedding.
Better late than never.
She commanded the ship's autopilot to return it to its original course, settled back into her seat, and looked over at her favorite human.
Do you think our lives will stop being this exciting when we're married?
She asked.
I hope not. I want to be on the run with you forever.
Shona smiled.
Same.
Same was written by Alice Brown and performed by Steve Parker and Alison Sharber. If you've enjoyed this, you can get more at youtube.com/Steve Parker Audiobooks.